are offering doses to people even younger. 680's Madison joins us live with those details. Madison.
Yes, Lieutenant Mayor John Tory announced this afternoon that all Torontonians 60 and older can register for a vaccination beginning tomorrow morning at any of the 5
hotel restaurant with 360-degree view of Toronto is closed for good. Hotel restaurant, is that the CN Tower?
Doses to residents even younger in neighborhoods hardest hit by the pandemic.
So it says here, Pickering residents say no to cell towers in parks. That's interesting. That's where Pickering draws the line. You can put that leaky fucking nuclear pile over there, no problem. But don't you dare put a tower. That's not 5G, is it?
It's an area hardest hit by COVID-19. They include Thorncliffe Park, Galleria Birchmont, Flemington Park, Farmer Court, Victoria Village.
Farmer Court.
7 tonight first dose appointments at St. Joseph's and St. Michael's COVID-19 vaccine clinics will also be available for people who are born in 1971 or before and who live in certain high areas. Each hospital has the full list of eligible age groups and postal codes posted on their websites. Reporting live, I'm Madison Fitzpatrick. Gas prices.
If I line my walls with cases of this stuff and a bullet comes through the concrete and it manages to get through the concrete, I'm pretty sure the meat will still be edible.
This is 680 News.
Hi, it's Fido. When it comes to downloading maps to find your way, don't let your data plan hold you back. Get a data boost from Fido with 5 hours of unlimited data at no extra cost. That's 5 extra hours of data every month when you need it. It's enough to keep you on the road for that extra scenic route. On all voice and data plans,
So all these,
with Fido.
oh, this one I found yesterday, so you can say it doesn't count. You want to ride through that won't pop your tire, will it? You want to gamble on that? When everybody's busy?
To just under $1.24 a liter. Traffic and weather together now.
Everyday Canadians are buying homes and getting the wrong mortgage rate. Important announcement. If you have a home mortgage closing in the next 90 days, 1.15% 5-year variable rate mortgages are available at butlermortgage.ca. No matter what you were told or what you signed, you can still switch to 1.15% 5-year. No gimmicks, no fees. Standard mortgages at 1.15% 5-year variable.
That's the 500 mil.
Go to butlermortgage.ca.
It's perfectly in my pocket. Imagine that. It's the same as a tall can of beer.
APR 1.16%. The world has changed. Can you?
Oh, I had to try this because it's a product of Egypt. If you can make strawberry and raspberry jam, we'll get along just fine. I don't have to like anything else you do.
Because businesses that can adapt.
You don't give people an alternative to make money. That's the other problem that happens.
As one of the largest Google Premier partners in Canada and recipient of the Google Customer Satisfaction Award, Search Kings knows how to help your business survive and thrive. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings. 680 News Time, 541.
Product of China. It's not fresh. It's processed, so it should be all right. I know I got different thinking on things.
Eastbound 401 delays from east to Guelph Line, off and on to east of Mississauga Road, so right through Milton and into Mississauga. Then eastbound 401 is backed up from approaching the 427. Express and collectors all the way to approaching McAllen.
All the way.
The collectors, we get the right lane blocked up with a crash cleanup, and they've cleared out the 2 left lanes, so it's getting better. But the delay is just horrible. And then eastbound 401.
Now, I still feel like I lost 2 packs of matches somewhere, but I got 4 more. I'll be all right.
Lots of emergency crews are on scene, and the eastbound 401 is basically.
Why do you save all those match packs in them greasy paper bags? No reason, sir. No reason at all, Mr. Fire Marshal, sir.
Kingston Road is an alternate. That's backed up eastbound Highway 2 Kingston Road from approaching Brock Road right through the Salem. It's just really, really busy, although it does look better than the 401. Bailey is definitely the best.
No plastic bag. You're welcome. I just don't want to pay the equivalent of 20% sales tax on a single bag. Fuck you.
It's backed up from Simcoe to west of Dixon. Westbound 401 then slowed through Westneek, and everyone's slowing down with the eastbound crash. And then it's slowed from the 404 all the way to Dixon. A delay west of the 427 collectors. Here, Ontario Express Mavis collectors to approaching Mississauga Road and Winston Churchill to west of Trafalgar from the 680 Traffic Center. Here's Carlin Donahue.
Right now, we've got an issue on the southbound 404 approaching Finch. The HOV lane is blocked and the left shoulder, and that's not causing a delay, but it is blocked off due to a collision. If you're traveling on that route as well, we've got delays approaching Shepherd down to York Mills. Southbound 400 is slow approaching Shepherd to the East 401 ramp. If you're going on the northbound 400 at Finch to Teston, it is slow going. Northbound on the DVP 404, delays approaching Dundas to north of Lawrence.
All your luxury tags, you let them fall off your new clothes. You're supposed to save those for later when the clothes are gone. Hang them off your keychain and remember the days. No, you guys put 10 air fresheners on your mirror to show that you wash it every fucking day, right?
And QEW combo, we have delays for Loke to Ford Drive, then at the Humber Bridge, it's slow going. And eastbound 403, east of Waterdown Road, a traffic spotter called about a table being in the center lane. So we called MTO. They're en route to clean that up. It's causing
if you call table in the center lane, you get to make a donation to the cause of your choice.
And West QEW slow between the 427 in Cawthra and the Ford plant to Guelph line. Purple Bricks has imagined the real estate of tomorrow and made it happen today. Get the expertise of a local realtor and save thousands of dollars. Visit purplebricks.ca. Now the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, it's going to be clear tonight, but boy, that wind is giving us that double-digit wind chill now, and it's still going to feel like minus 12 overnight into tomorrow morning.
Right? Yeah.
So dress and bundle up if you have to walk the dog early. We're looking at a sunny afternoon, though the wind's gradually easing through the day.
These are all secretly signaling devices. You could take down, if you got enough Canadians with some loose change, we'll take down an airplane with this shit. Your pilot will be like, I can't see. His eyes will be steaming. There's no nerve endings in there. You won't feel the pain. Your eyes will just boil. Loonies and toonies and shiny bills. Where'd I put those? I got them somewhere.
At Pearson.
Actually,
Now the Dynamic Funds Market Minute to the Business Center. Here's Stuart McGinn.
So, Jenna, a money-making end to this shortened trading week. The TSX closing at a record high, 18,990, a gain of more than 1.5%. The S&P 500 also closing at a record above 4,000. It was up more than 1%. Tech stocks rallied, powering the Nasdaq to a gain of 1.75%, while the Dow Jones was up 0.5%. And commodities higher too. Gold gaining $14, oil $2 to 61 a barrel. At the Business Center, I'm Stuart McGinn.
Being active is better than being reactive.
Especially if you live next to a nuclear fuel pellet plant. Nuclear. N-U-K-U-L-U-R. Nuclear. That last U has two dots over. Nuclear.
This is the sound of medicine. When you stay at a Ronald McDonald House, close to your sick child, family is medicine.
You don't hear much about this charity, but what they do is pretty serious. You won't hear about it because there's a lot of bad memories associated. When people's kids have to get medical treatment,
sick children get stronger.
So I don't know how it works everywhere. Here in Toronto, your kids need to get serious medical treatment of some type. You got to travel to the big city. And you're lucky enough that OHIP or whoever's going to pay for the medical treatment, and you have to pay for your hotel stay, whatever. Ronald McDonald House is what that's about, where the family can stay. That's basically what you just said, when they can stay close to their kid. The kid's in the hospital. You're going to be sitting up all night in the Tim Hortons. We meet everybody in the middle of the night out here. You have no idea. You think we're just bad people. You don't know.
680 News.
A few clouds in downtown Toronto. Wind chill reading right now of -8. We're going down to an overnight low of -5 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Sljana Tominczyk.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Traffic alert eastbound 401 east of Westney. Only the right lane is getting by. A crash. The full traffic report coming up at 5:51. The Ford government has announced what it calls a province-wide shutdown to curb the aggressive spread of variants. It starts Saturday and will last for a month. Grocers, retailers, and schools will remain open. The city of Toronto will start vaccinating those 60 years of age and older this weekend. If you were born in 1961 or earlier, you can sign up tomorrow morning. Humber River Hospital, the Toronto East Health Network, and St. Joseph's and St. Michael's hospitals are vaccinating people as young as 50 in areas hit hardest by COVID-19. For this and more, go to 680news.com.
Time out for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Alex Xero.
Sljana, the Blue Jays won their season opener today, beating the New York Yankees 3-2 in 10 innings. Randall Grichuk's RBI double proved to be the game-winning hit.
You know, we think as a clubhouse, you know, we can compete with these guys for the division. You know, I think everybody's kind of said that they're going to win it and they're the better team. And
I think you're wrong. I think you're going to lose.
You certainly feel better about it. Well, yeah, I was playing outdoor hockey. A game that was limited to 5 through January.
I'll cut you, motherfucker. These are Canadian. I'll cut you.
But you know, I mentioned the outdoor dining. That's not even allowed. All these people that put in elaborate patios and what have you, the heaters and, you know, with everything in place, even the folks are wearing face shields. In fact, my friends at Harbor 60 have a robot that will now spray you. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it's supposed to disinfect and prevent virus transmission.
They've gone to every little bit helps.
Put in all kinds of
the road to hell is paved with purple bricks or something.
And they're shut out now for another 28 days. Doug Ford was saying, it kills me to stop outdoor dining, but it's necessary to do, but that's why we're extending the financial assistance. David Wills, you know about this? I mean, is this adequate? I think he's mentioned like a second tranche you can dip into as a small business up to $40,000. Does that do anything for these businesses?
Well, I don't know the answer.
That's Jubilee 1952, 2002, very special. They only made about 300 trillion of these.
Ago and allowing it, I think it was in hindsight. You know, the numbers were already heading that way, right? We knew that we were moving towards this point, and I think that you're
is it a
right.
pinch
A lot
point?
of these businesses spent money.
You shouldn't be standing there if it is.
A lot of them have bought food that is now. You know, that may go to waste or what, I don't know what they're going to do with it.
I don't feel sorry for you.
I think that 2 weeks
as you
ago,
see, almost nothing here that got shipped internationally had to be refrigerated. In fact, nothing had to be
refrigerated. I think we were just hoping things.
Which is why I'm trying these. No, they're not baked fresh today. They're not meant for that market.
Stephen, do you think in some ways Doug Ford was...
These could sit on a shelf just fine for a while, a lot longer.
The restaurateurs and the barkeeps, they were lobbying for it, and they just, you know, wanted a lifeline thrown to them.
Yeah, I could see the slight difference in ingredients.
Was it ill-considered, as David Will says?
Now, here's my issue. In the same store where I go, it says Baker Street. Never heard of the brand. They had a different brand last time, I think, or a different package. It's so there's a patented stone bake oven process for the ones I keep buying at the Freshco. I can only assume it's a different company, whatever, blah, 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 blah. My only problem is at the same fucking store where they sell these, they have Wonder Bread white wraps. Wonder Bread white wraps. You got to buy one or take a picture of it or something, because I guarantee you it won't. Maybe it'll sell. Who knows? It's in really small letters. It says tortillas. No, big letters. Wonder Bread white wraps. You get called Wonder Bread, and it pisses you off if you're from the hood. I know, but that's taking it too far. White wraps. Can we just call them tortillas like we used to? No, we have to be a little bit more upfront with our racism, Bobby.
And really look forward to a real patio season opening soon.
Yeah, except it gets back to what we talked about initially. If it's just more of the same, extending out 28 more days, whether it's a lockdown, a shutdown, and
so if the ship this food was coming in on got stuck in a canal,
you know, targeting, being hyper focused on where
the fact that that food was in a container wouldn't cause it to use any more fuel sitting there as it would moving. There'd be no difference because there's no reefer. There shouldn't be a reefer. There's no need I can see for a reefer unit.
You know, I think that if we look at other jurisdictions around the world, especially the United States, that's way ahead of us in vaccinations, they're also way ahead of us in COVID spread.
This is meant for stores that might not be right next to the cold
30%
supply
of the population vaccinated, and they're growing. Their cases of COVID.
So I'll just read the ingredients. You know, I'm just
like the vaccine is not. The vaccine will lead us to herd immunity. We have to continue with social distancing, mask wearing, limiting groups, all of that stuff. We have to, like, people have to realize we're going to be doing that well into the fall. You know, we make
the next 4 years, according to the United Nations, People's Republic of China, and the Public Health Agency of Canada. Actually, they said 3 to 5 years, 3 for the virus, 5 minimum, 5 years for the economy minimum. We still haven't started that countdown. We haven't got to where we're not even close to leveling
you
up.
gotta get buy-in, but you know, this became kind of interesting controversy in BC.
Yeah, I may have overdone things there, but I just wonder the sources. Enriched wheat, so you bleach the flour, then put some of it back or whatever. Enriched wheat flour, water, okay. Minced garlic, hold on. Garlic, soybean oil, water, citric acid, potassium sorbate. Dehydrated garlic, water, sunflower oil, sugar, salt, citric acid. Yeah, this one's actually better for me. Imagine that. This is not fresh. Once it's in the package at the factory gate, it's good to go. And since it's a clear package, I trust CFIA to actually check. I don't trust corned beef. Canola oil, salt, yeast, sugar. Oh, I guess, yeah. Corn flour, monoglycerides, wheat gluten, good. Guar gum, calcium propionate, sorbic acid, I think. Cilantro, baking soda, enza. I think those are 4 preservatives that aren't in the other ones. I could be wrong. And I think this was $2 for 340 grams. It's $2 for 500 at the grocery store, but it's a kilo for $3. If you really want the fresh ones. All it is the expiry date is a lot sooner than the other ones. June 4th, yeah, at room temperature. These will be perfectly fine till June. That's not a joke.
Infection occurring. Is he painting everybody with it's all parties, or is it because maybe a lot of those workers are in frontline service industries where they're being exposed
I
to
could
it?
watch this.
And
I
so
didn't
I
think
think
I
you
would
went on
because I
further
didn't
to
necessarily have
sort
a
of
half to.
extrapolate the idea that they were to blame. But I think it's a
You
fair
can tell when you
message
touch
to
this
say
type
this
of plastic,
is a
if 6
group
other
that needs to
people
pay
touched it
extra
first, it'd
attention.
be all greasy.
And I think it was also unfair that he
Put it back.
said
That's
that
what
everyone
happens
else
the
is
other 6 times. They
sacrificed,
touch you. Oh,
and you're going to ruin it for them, because everybody's been sacrificing in
they've
various
done
ways.
studies in retail.
Maybe the message
The
went
reason
too
the fucking
far. I think
bad boys are always straightening out the shelves,
and
and this is completely backwards for anybody with a brain. If it looks like it got moved or whatever, people think it got touched, they don't want to take that one. They'll take the one right next to it.
College and university seasons.
It's easy to just keep lining them up all day.
Nice weather outdoors and getting together in groups where the virus spreads.
So David,
It's also halal.
Like, hey, millennial pinheads, behave yourselves.
Number 5, CHEC. I don't know what that means.
It would be nuanced, I would think. I agree with what Stephen said, because I think that that same demographic is also working in logistics, warehousing, all of these other things where the spread is happening.
Thank you.
Yes, we saw the videos of the parties, but that's anecdotal versus
I
bigger
want all
evidence.
these companies to compete, but only for certain
driving around and
products.
seeing
I need
people
all the
getting
garlic
together and
naan I
taking
can
video
get.
of this is not enough.
There is visible
I
garlic
think they
and
have to be
cilantro
careful, because
everywhere.
young people have suffered immensely. They've disproportionately lost more jobs, more income, everything else too. So I think to say others have
Because there's
suffered,
more of them, and they were getting paid more because of the ageism against people
Yes,
who
well, I
age
still have a
65
few
and
moments here.
mandatory retirement,
Stephen
which
Holiday
is
is
illegal in this
Deputy
country,
Mayor.
Bob.
Let's get you to weigh in first off. We've seen the changing face of Toronto. Yonge Street, used to be Fun Street, and the major thoroughfare for the Sin Strip, as they call it. Brass Rail now, by all accounts, is looking to, I guess, go the way of many other properties renowned along that stretch of road, because it's going to be going under redevelopment. The properties around it first, and then I guess the Brass Rail will be grandfathered out. Real estate prices being what they are, looking at that package of land going around $32 million, if not higher.
I want a condo tower that has a subway station,
since time immemorial,
a 7-Eleven, and a strip club.
Heritage designation, Stephen Holiday. You think the city would be wrong, far afield, to connote it as a heritage site?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the building itself is. I'm not sure that the actual brass rail or some of the elements in there are true heritage elements. But yeah, I think there's some deep history there to do with music and other things that aren't, the sort of commonplace contemporary view of it. But there's some interesting architecture along that strip. But I think the bigger picture is the changing face of Yonge Street, because it is such valuable property. It is the center of so many things. And a lot of these independent businesses are getting pushed out because a lot of the property taxes are based on the value of the property, not necessarily the rent that these people are paying. So I think there's lots of changes in the work for Yonge Street, including closing down some of the lanes that we talked about another day. But yeah, it is being redeveloped, and there's always value in keeping a little bit of our cultural heritage in how these places are redeveloped.
That's right, the Brass Rail, cultural heritage right there, Mr. Wills. Kind of curious, though, you've got all these places that are now being put up, 95 stories, I guess, that Kazakh Tower right there in one bloor, and so on and so on. I mean, do we have the infrastructure to support that? I mean, I don't know that there are parking spots in the building or underground, but we're not building more infrastructure, we're just building to the sky increasing the density downtown.
The first thing you learn about residential developments, they're required to put in a certain number of parking spots for however many bedrooms or whatever the case is.
have sparred a little bit about the
So
need
this is
for
on a
parking
boat for
spots
6
in
months
those
coming over
buildings
here. It's all
because I
shook
think
up and stood
part
up
of the
already.
attraction
If it was
of
made
living right
locally, it'd be all
downtown is that you
separated.
don't need a car to get around, and that your world can be within walking distance.
Oh, sure.
So I think that's one area. I worry about the other infrastructure. You know, we've got that big sinkhole happening near
Infrastructure.
College Street right now because it's a 100-year-old sewer pipe. So
1873 till
aging
now.
infrastructure that's under those streets.
You're right,
As
about
we're putting all of
150.
this new density into it, that, you know, maybe we need to take a pause and upgrade that stuff that can handle the growth that we have. But I also think we, you know, Stephen touched on it, this highest and best use aspect of these properties. I don't think that's great policy because it actually forces redevelopment as opposed to just allowing for it and allowing for neighborhoods to you know, be what they may be. It forces these businesses out because of the taxes.
Did anybody else hear the U.S. Army Act?
By the way, where is that sinkhole? College and what?
From Huron to McCall.
College and Young, like right down there.
June 13th, 2022. The garlic is August 28th. What do this should have keep forever? They shipped this over here 2 years ago.
Young or west of Young?
That's Dollarama, military supply chain management and just-in-time delivery mixed together. I don't know where all the wonder-watt light bulbs came from.
They're taking bike lanes up Young Street, I guess, or they're going to close off Young Street.
That's smart. They stopped putting a date on them. They used to say copyright 2014. These new ones, they didn't put that on there.
From where is it? South of Eglinton, all the way down to
strawberry, sugar, pectin, citric acid. Because what do I care if it comes from Egypt? Exactly. I don't want to go strawberries here. Because they grow wild. We don't need to fucking bring in your imported Egyptian strawberries here. They'll buy them in a jar.
You got to get people in and out of downtown, and that's the worry I've got. Is you take away travel lanes, how will people come and go from work?
There's a great point.
You're right. They'll have to take the alleyways or the sewers. Damn, you're right. I never thought of it.
David Will, Senior VP,
November 9th, 2022.
Mayor, Councilor Ward 2.
I might be doing it $2 at a time. These are fucking bomb shelter rations.
Dave Spargall on the board, Michael Downey at home, and always to you. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay away. We'll talk again Monday after 3. Have a great long holiday weekend.
November 9th, November 9th, November 9th, November 24th. That's Christmas Eve. Before the COVID.
We need people to be vigilant. And, you know, a lot of people let their guards down.
New at 6, the province pulls the emergency brake, where the premier is laying blame, and what you need to know about life for the next 4 weeks.
It's just very difficult going day by day and not knowing what to expect.
Education during the emergency break. The plan is to keep schools open. Is it the right call? We're getting reaction from parents. Straight ahead.
This is Global Toronto. Global News at 6 starts right now.
Oh, dear.
As Ontario heads into a long weekend, a province-wide shutdown is about to take effect.
Refrigerate after opening. Why, Bob?
Gray, red, green. What does this latest set of pandemic restrictions mean for you?
All right, we have team coverage for you to get all your questions answered. First, our Matthew Bingley is standing by with a breakdown of these restrictions, what
How
they
much
mean.
for 100-watt light bulb?
Has
$2.
details on how the variant strains can impact your summer, and Karen Lieberman has the happening with school. So let's get right to it.
Oh, it's on her mic.
All right, the first thing you have to keep in mind is that it doesn't matter what region you're in. This is province-wide. Although when it comes to Toronto and Peel, not much really changes. Starting Saturday, April 3rd, for at least 4 weeks, indoor gatherings are prohibited. Outdoor is limited to just 5 people. All indoor and outdoor dining is also prohibited, along with personal care services, as is indoor and outdoor facilities for sports and recreational fitness. Non-essential retail shopping is allowed to continue with 25% indoor capacity limits. Grocery and supermarket limits are at 50%. Religious ceremonies, including weddings and funerals, can continue indoors at 15% capacity, but
Receptions aren't allowed.
These measures only work if people understand them and can follow them.
The co-chair of the Science Advisory Table showed why strict measures are needed. Based on the success of the stay-at-home order, 4 weeks of similar measures combined with vaccines would make an impact. But it comes with a catch.
The faster we get the pandemic under control, the faster we return to normal. Partial measures, half-hearted adherence, and denial.
The D stands for death. Detroit dollar.
And make life harder for everyone.
Despite that warning,
stealing my taglines at the bank. Do you want to make every dummy can't? Hey, don't talk
is opting out of a stay-at-home order
because we saw that.
Just a tad below seasonal. We should be hitting highs of 8 for this time of year. Overnight tonight down to a low of -5. It is currently -2 degrees, feeling like -10 at Pearson.
6 City News Time, 6:03.
Doug Ford says he's hitting the brakes as expected. He has announced what he's calling a 4-week shutdown in the province as the variants spread rapidly.
6 Cities Mark Douglas joins us with word not much will change in hotspots from Toronto and Peel.
We have to crunch down one more time.
But it's not as much of a crunch down as Premier Doug Ford's medical advisors wanted to see. They wanted a stay-at-home order. Instead, this is called an emergency brake shutdown for 4 weeks, starting 12:01 a.m. Saturday. Patio dining, gone again.
A lot of people let their guards down.
You don't know the differences.
You walk down the street in your area, the patios were packed.
Those barbershops and hair salons that were told only a week ago they could open on the 12th, they're shut down again. No use of facilities
why did you say
to outdoor sports or recreational fitness, but schools are staying open, and the belated March break is still happening. Shopping staying open, even non-essential stores with limited capacity. Religious gatherings still a go for the Easter long weekend and Ramadan to follow with limited capacity again. As for why this will not be a true gray zone lockdown or a stay-at-home, here's Minister of Health, Christine Elliott.
With the lockdown, we know with the warmer weather coming, with all that we've asked Ontarians to sacrifice, is too difficult to do. And we also, of course, have to balance any measures that we take with people's mental health as well.
Full details on our station's website. I'm Mark Douglas.
You say that, but why do you lock me on the
the Ontario Medical Association weighing in on the Ford government's announcement, saying it's a step in the right direction, but one Toronto doctor says it's clearly not enough. 6 Cities Phil Martino joins us live.
With the warmer weather coming, we want people to be able to go out.
23 more deaths are linked to the virus, putting that figure at 7,389. And more than 324,000 illnesses are considered resolved.
Not the same stay-at-home order that we had in January, which is what was necessary to reduce the impact of Wave 2. Wave 3 is being driven by variants which are far more infectious and deadly, which means we need even more significant public health measures to get things under control.
Opposition leader Andrew Horvath says the 4-week province-wide shutdown is a too little, too late response by the Ford government. What we know is that the public health measures that this government has announced are not what experts are calling for. They fall short of what experts have been calling for. The Ontario Medical Association and the Association of Local Public Health Agencies welcomed today's announcement of a province-wide lockdown as a step in the right direction, but the two organizations urged the government to take additional steps. Otherwise, they say, the strain on our healthcare system will grow, impacting their ability to care for not just COVID patients, but all patients. Phil Martino, 680 News.
Despite Ontario going into a so-called 4-week shutdown, schools will be unaffected. For now, 6 Cities' Richard Southern explains.
Kids will be back in the classroom on Tuesday as scheduled, and that 1 week off is still going to happen, says Education Minister Stephen Lecce.
Ontario schools will remain open in this province. April break will proceed. We will not hesitate to act to protect students, staff, and our families.
Now we're shut down. Now that we're shut down, the schools will be open.
There are more than 1,100 confirmed cases of the pandemic here. 58 schools across the province are closed because of the virus. Many more are shutting down.
Doesn't sound like a lot for the whole school to be closed.
Southern.
So in Toronto, vaccination sites now offering shots of 60 plus starting
Not just for
tomorrow.
staff
We're learning
it's
some
for
hospitals
COVID specifically,
are now offering
58
doses
schools.
to people even younger. 6 Cities Madison Fitzpatrick joins us live to try and figure that out. Madison.
Farmers feed cities, I know, because these animals come here.
The eligibility rate in Torontonians 60 and older. Mayor John Tory announced this afternoon that those in that age group can register for a vaccination at the city's 5 mass vaccination sites beginning tomorrow morning. But in an effort to reach residents in the hardest hit neighborhoods, a number of hospitals are now offering doses to residents even younger. Humber River Hospital is now booking vaccinations for residents 50 plus in the northwestern Toronto encampment. That area is bounded by Steeles and south to Eglinton and Islington west to Bathurst. Michael Garrett Hospital and Toronto East Health Partners are also vaccinating residents 50 and over, but only in certain postal code hotspot areas. And as of 7 tonight, first dose appointments at St. Joseph's and St. Michael's COVID-19 vaccine clinics will be available for people who are born in 1971 or before and who live in certain high-risk areas. Each hospital has a full list of eligible age groups and postal codes posted on their websites. Reporting live, I'm Madison Fitzpatrick.
The Sports Center is brought to you by the Herzig Eye Institute. 2 paramedics who arrived on scene where George Floyd was detained gave testimony today in the murder trial of the former Minneapolis police officer.
The jury heard from the 2 paramedics who removed George Floyd from the scene. Derek Smith was one of those, and he made it clear that he thought Floyd was dead when he arrived. He said no medical attention was given to Floyd prior to the ambulance arriving.
When I arrived on scene, there was no medical services being provided to the patient.
He said he does not know why the officers did not attempt chest compressions on Floyd. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
Another move at the
because they crushed his chest.
Listen, 3, 4, 5.
That's the other thing I'll do, is crushing your chest. Yes, stupid, you fucking chomo cough piece of shit. Kneeling on my chest was not the correct response. These motherfuckers did that to me. I weigh 130 pounds. And then proceeded to tell me I chose to be black because even white people get sickle cell now. Because someone pulled a gun on me and I didn't run away. He called the cops and I'm the one that got tackled. Oh yeah, all that happened.
Herzig is prepared. You're small business owners, obviously, but people on the streets. We talked to Erica Vella, talked to a lot of people today.
Experiencing homelessness.
Erica, what are you hearing out there?
Streets.
There's a lot of mixed emotions, like you said. Some people were angry,
enjoying,
others understood why these restrictions are being put into place. But really, across the board, there was this level of exhaustion that people are feeling right now. We are on Bayview Avenue, and there are restaurants with patios. There are salons. There are spas, and people we spoke with expressed a certain level of excitement around going to these establishments. But all of that has been delayed for at least
all the same crap problems. They just drive nicer cars.
And I think it's really, really tough on them, and it's very confusing for consumers.
One of the biggest things for me is that I like to go to cafes, and as long as those are open, then it's all good. But it's unfortunate that I can't sit and read a book. But you know, it is what it is, and you just have to keep those numbers.
What does that mean? As soon as you say it is what it is, I lose focus.
And people, there's no ICU beds, so I think this is the right step.
So again, people for the most part understand why these restrictions are coming into place, but at the same time, they're hoping it will be the last time. I'm going to send it back to you.
It might be. Thank you, Erica. Like that.
A 3-year-old boy missing for nearly 4 days was found. Everyone was fearing the worst, but then there was this incredible stroke of luck. We're going to tell you exactly how it happened after the break.
I'm Wolfgang Klein, portfolio.
Southbound 401 delays Ritz into Brock Street, 404 Express Baby Collectors to Dixon, west of your Ontario Express Mavis Collectors to approaching Mississauga Road. Southbound on the 400, south of Finch, we now have a center lane blocked off with a collision. We got tows and emerge on scene. It's not causing a delay, but it's adding to them south of Finch down the 401 ramps. Southbound on the 404 approaching Finch, that collision's clear. We have delays approaching Shepherd York Mills, and then approaching Bloor on the southbound DVP. That crash is cleared as well, so we're just seeing delays approaching John Mills to approaching approaching Bloor. Westbound on the Gardner, delays DVP to Dufferin. West QEW slow from the 427 west of Cawthra. Ford Drive to Trafalgar and Bronte to west of North Line. If you're on the westbound 403, it's heavy Cawthra to west of Huron-Ontario. Eastbound on the QEW, we have delays Bronte to Ford Drive and Cawthra to Dixie. Then we have an issue on the eastbound Gardner. East of Dufferin, 2 right lanes blocked off with a collision. That's causing a heavy delay from the Humber Bridge to east of Dufferin. And eastbound on the 403, east of Waterdown Road, is center lane blocked by a table. MTO's en route to clean that up, and it's causing a delay from approaching Waterdown Road.
Still just sitting there. Is there like a guy sitting there with a
30 years of custom decks and happy Hickory Decks offers the widest selection of low maintenance decking. Enjoy life outdoors. Visit decks.ca. With the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahire.
All right, I don't want to say the words wind chill, but I've got to say for the next couple of mornings, some chilly starts. Even right now, it feels like minus 10 out there. The wind is
plus 19, minus 12.
Minus 12.
Minus 12.
Gradually easing through the day. Tomorrow
and they said 20. I thought it was 19, but they keep saying 20 yesterday. Plus 20, minus 12. Plus 20, minus 12. Plus 20, minus 12. Sinkhole.
And a slight chance of some late day showers. A very, very slight chance. Don't let it wreck your outdoor walks or park time. Saturday's high 8 degrees. Overnight tonight down to a low of minus 5. It's minus 2, wind chill minus 10 at Pearson.
Now the dynamic
what did you do with Harold
fund
Hussein?
minutes too.
If you don't tell me, I swear to God, I'm going to every last one until I find out the truth of what happened to Harold Hussein and one way.
The price of
It was
gold
Indiana
gained about
Jones that
10 or
movie
14
Suicide
bucks.
Jones.
Oil was the big winner, up 3.5% today. The price climbing $2.05 to $61.21 a barrel. We did have our loonie also higher today, up 5/100ths to 79.67 cents US. As for Wall Street, a record there as well, with the S&P 500 getting above 4,000 for the first time ever. It was higher by 47 points, or more than 1% today. Tech stocks helped and rallied again. The Nasdaq up 1 3/4%, or 233 points, while the Dow gained 0.5%. At the Business Center, I'm Stuart McGinn.
Being active is better than being real.
I like this dual circulation dynamic thing in China. I like this. I think every time we sold like a gun or a assault vehicle or whatever to Saudi Arabia, we should have built one for ourselves and not told nobody. We sold them $200 billion of arms. Now they're paying us back with oil. You guys are fucking real smart.
Delicious plant-based creations. Make it all vegan with our dairy-free cheese and taste the plant-based difference.
Hi, it's Fido. When it comes to streaming your favorite movies, don't let your data plan hold you back. Get a data boost from Fido with 5 hours of unlimited data at no extra cost. That's 5 extra hours of data every month when you need it. It's enough to stream a movie and a sequel. All you have to worry about is deciding what to watch on all voice and data plans, only with Fido. Visit a Fido store or fido.ca for details.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Yes, it's sunny cloud in downtown Toronto, -2, but now it feels like -10. Good evening, I'm James Monroe.
I'm Slow Janet Sibbins. Secure the top stories right now.
That Ford ushers in April with this. This is a new pandemic. We're now fighting a new enemy. The new variants are far more dangerous than before.
Don't call it a lockdown, though. It's been rebranded as a province-wide emergency brake shutdown. Effective Saturday, Ontario will move into the gray zone.
What's the difference, you ask? Hey, we're all asking the same damn thing.
Restaurants will have to close up the patios.
I think we heard 3 different journalists trying to get a straight answer to that.
The minister says it's not a stay-at-home order. The last one had, quote, ill effects on children and adults. Schools will stay open across the province. 60+ in Toronto can begin booking tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for vaccination appointments. People born 1961 or earlier. By FYI, some hospitals are vaccinating 50+ in some of the harder hit areas.
You gotta feel for these old people. You gotta feel for these old people. They're trying to do what people are telling them.
School the following week, and for how long? Obviously, our numbers are going.
You got them to stop drinking and smoking.
It's difficult for
Cut
us.
back in red meat, switch to vegan and vegetarian and quinoa instead of rice. They're trying to get the vaccine.
It's confusing, so many emotions. And I want to mention, Alan and Farah, that I'm also seeing on Twitter a lot of people saying today is the last day for their children, at least for now. They are pulling them from school and they will not be going back next week, despite schools remaining open in the province. Back to you.
I've also heard a lot of that. All right, Canada women, thank you.
I suppose.
And to another story. We're learning new details tonight about an incredible tale near Kingston.
A 3-year-old boy found safe and sound after nearly 4 days lost in the countryside.
Catherine McDonald tells us
Now he speaks a strange language no one understands and howls at the moon.
The longer time passes, the less...
He loves the garbage man, hates the mailman. We don't know.
Constable Scott McNames was among the 100 people who spent nearly 4 days looking for 3-year-old Jude Layton.
Why did you start looking at rivers?
Out of our sight for a few seconds.
Dive teams before K9.
You know, we were looking all over for him.
The toddler went missing around noon on Sunday while visiting his grandfather's 200-acre rural property north of Kingston.
It's quite easy to get lost. Even I've been turned around on the property myself.
It was 2 Wednesday afternoon when
Got it within 900
a line
meters.
search with 3 other officers.
I saw something blue up ahead and just off to the right. You don't see a lot of blue in nature or in the bush, and it stood out.
McNames and another member of the OPP emergency response team ran up and found Jude lying on the ground.
Yeah, he said, he's here.
It was nearly 1 kilometer from where the boy was last seen.
He was lying down on his stomach, and then Jude, the little boy, raised his head and opened his eyes, and he said, and he's alive. So
Jude had been missing for 72 hours.
I just picked him up, and he was really, really thirsty. So the only thing he said is he wanted some water, so we got him some water.
He was smart enough not to drink water that was in puddles.
He was pretty warm, and carried him out of the bush.
Luckily, dressed for winter, he was reunited with his parents and his grandpa, who were overjoyed.
And that's why you dress for winter, even when it's plus 25 or whatever. That's why, because you don't know what'll change in 3 days.
Lived for that long.
As was the entire community who prayed for his safe return.
Something we'd keep our lights on and keep our doors open and just hope that the little guy would wander this way and stop in.
McNames believes Jude's clothing helped.
He was warm. He wasn't cold. He wasn't shivering. He was wet, but the wool sweater might have saved him.
A search that may not have had a positive outcome, but they never lost faith.
That's the best day I've had at the OPP in 25 years.
It's just unbelievable how they persevered through the whole thing.
The boy remains in hospital and is expected to make a full recovery.
This is Egyptian strawberry jam.
It is a chilly start to the
Again,
month.
it's been rocking back and forth on a boat for 2 years.
In Toronto, but look what we have going on out west. When this air will arrive in your long week.
Behind the shooting, the victims were known. They were all known to each other.
The alleged shooter, identified as a 44-year-old man, apparently had business and personal relationships with the people he shot. 4 people died, including a 9-year-old boy who was found in the arms of a woman who was also shot. She's in critical condition, along with the suspect. It's unclear if police shot the suspect or shot himself. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles. Traffic and weather next.
Hello,
I thought that was like up here somewhere in the bush.
And we are just made for each other.
I come down as rain and hit
Los Angeles. I thought he said OPP or something. I wasn't listening. Los Angeles. Wait a second. What's this Great Lakes in Africa? We got to look that up. What's the African Great Lakes?
Because you're calling all the military powers from the Great Lakes region to come protect the African kids, and we're all like, you know, we're military, we're from the Great Lakes region, what do you want?
Till 2, talk to Professor. Tires and brakes to exhaust and engine repair. Meineke is your one-stop shop for total car care. For a limited time, get a basic oil change starting at $29.95 or a seasonal tire changeover starting at $49.95. Plus, you can buy now and pay later with our financing options. Book your appointment at Meineke.ca. Terms and conditions apply. Engine, brakes, tires, oil. Meineke, doing car care right.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville realised we all have things we should cut back on. For me half-brother Rayul, that's ordering inflatable toys. For others, it's carbs. So Pizzaville made the extra thin...
At Highway 25 to east of Jamestown Parkway, we have delays. Then at the 407 to east of Mississauga Road, and it's slow going from the 427 to Leslie, alternately expressing collectors. We have a problem at Victoria Park in the collectors. It's in the center lane, the third from the left. We got a collision there, so that's causing a slowdown from the DVP expressing collectors to Victoria Park. Then we just got word that the collision approaching Kennedy in the collectors has cleared, and that's causing a delay from the DVP expressing collectors. We have volume east to Port Union expressing collectors east to Salem, and then east to west knee. We have the right shoulder blocked off with a collision that's causing just a small slowdown through that stretch. Westbound 401 delays Stevenson to approaching Salem, west of Avenue Road Express, west of the Allen Collectors to Dixon, then west of your Ontario Express Davis Collectors to approaching Mississauga Road. Traveling northbound on the 404 DVP combo approaching Bloor to north of Lawrence, we have delays. Then from Highway 7 and north of 16th. Southbound on the 400, great news, that collision south of Finch is cleared. We still have delays from south of Finch to the 401 ramps. If you're on the southbound 404, it's Shepherd, it's busy down to the east 401 ramps, and then delays approaching Don Mills. Westbound on the Gardner, heavy from the DVP to Dufferin, and west QEW from Dixie to west of Cawthra, Ford Drive to Trafalgar, and Bronte to west of Guelph Line. Westbound 403 delays Cawthra to west of Huron, Ontario. If you're going eastbound on the QEW, we've got volume from Bronte to Ford Drive, and then Huron, Ontario to Dixie. Eastbound on the Gardner, east of Dufferin, 2 right lanes blocked for a collision, emergency and tows on scene. It's causing a delay from Park Lawn. And then eastbound on the 403, east of Waterdown Road, we've got that debris picked up by the MTO. Enjoy the outdoors with LL Bean, legendary clothing and top quality outdoor gear for the whole family. Visit them at CF Shops at Don Mills, Oakville Place, and Georgia Mall and Barrie. With the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahide.
Yeah, it's a little chilly out there. We've got that wind. That's the culprit giving us the wind chill. And still overnight tonight, 30 to 40 kilometer per hour wind gusts. It's going to feel like minus 12 in the morning. Get ready for lots of sunshine tomorrow, though. Wind easing through the day with a high of 5. And Saturday morning, it's still going to feel like minus 11 to start. A couple of sunny breaks and then increasing cloud with a slight chance of some late day showers. 8 degrees the high. Sunshine does return for Sunday, though, with a high of 14. But just remember, that's 14 degrees. It's going to feel cooler if you're near the lake or even into some shade. Lakeside temperature 9 degrees. Tonight, we're down to a low of minus 5. It's currently minus 2. Wind chill minus 10 at Pearson.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, don't call it a lockdown, has been rebranded as a province-wide emergency brake shutdown event.
What?
Into the gray zone. We'll tell you what that means for you.
This is
680 News.
What? Just the complexity of real estate.
You blew the other thought right out of my head. I was going to say something stupid and kind of funny. Yeah, all you people making all your money off tourism and cold supply chain, I ain't got the time of day for you. I was gonna say something. The way he phrased that fucked me right up.
But it's actually a warm front. So yes, there's some clouds, but those winds pick up from the southwest. And we're going to see that temperature climb for Easter Sunday and Monday. There are your overnight lows tonight. And daytime highs tomorrow. This is often the case. Southwestern Ontario is the warmest, but even that, 8 degrees is below seasonal. 6 up in Sudbury, 3 for Ottawa,
6 up in
6 around Prince Edward County, Belleville, and then for the GTA, 5 to 6 degrees. As we move through the weekend, 9
minus
Saturday,
5.
So
water starts expanding at minus 4. So minus 5 is like just like officially enough to crack all your water pipes.
The risk of showers starting middle of the week, guys.
Thanks, Anthony. Now, listen, there's been a lot of information thrown your way over this hour. Coming up, point by point, what you can and what you can't do for the next 4 weeks in Ontario.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Can we make these out of
Showcase.
I think it's sugar, like cane sugar, something
I'm going to be doing my job with heart and integrity, and I'm going to be doing it well. I'm here for the justice. Truth and justice always prevail. I'm Supergirl, and I don't hide from anything.
Supergirl, all new, Tuesday.
Well, yeah, because your man can see through everything. It'd be kind of stupid if you'd be an idiot to try to hide from anything.
So, how's your blood pressure? Pretty good. What if I said
680 News Traffic Alert. From the 680 News Traffic Center, I'm Carlin Donahue. Eastbound on the Gardner, east of Dufferin, 2 right lanes blocked off with a collision. We've got delays from Park Lawn.
Oh, yeah, you recognize it now.
680 traffic watch.
Fell out of your remote control while you were driving, right?
680 News Time, 6:26.
Oh, the end cap's completely ripped out. Plastic in there.
Well, James, the first hurdle for
It is a something OEM. Looks like Duracell.
Opening the majority of its
Duracell OEM.
Challenge lies in actually
And it is no longer round.
Get back to the movies after a year of nobody doing it at all. And a push for more cash AMC is seeking investor approval to issue.
Hey, maybe you should stop charging $22 to go to the fucking
The company
movies.
secured more than $1 billion in debt during the pandemic. The cash, though,
Good,
was
I
only
hope
set
you
to ensure
start.
its survival.
I hope
through the
you
rest
end
of
up
this
sitting
year.
there with the power out, trying to figure out how to roast that popcorn. Or eat the 6-month-old popcorn that's there.
Stock though still up roughly
Bastards.
375% this year, thanks to the gains that were brought on by the Reddit rally. Turning to Wall Street today, it was a winning day with a record close for the S&P 500, 4,019, and the first time it's gotten above 4,000, a gain of 46 or more than 1%. The Dow was up 0.5%. The Nasdaq led the way with a gain of 1.75%, up 233 points. Automakers in the spotlight on Wall Street today. General Motors impressing with sales of more than 640,000 vehicles through the first 3 months of the year. That's about a 4% gain from a year ago, all during this global shortage for semiconductor chips that's halted production for many automakers. Shares of GM on the news up 0.6%. We saw shares of Ford fall that same amount because it announced more production downtime linked to the chip shortage today. On Bay Street, the TSX closing at a record 18,990.
So the number one stolen vehicle is it'll either be a model of Honda Civic or a model of Ford F-150.
The Loonie today up to 79.67 cents U.S. at the Business Center.
You thought I was going to say selling, number one selling? Yeah, that's old news. Anybody can just go buy a truck. Get the fuck out of here. What's the number one stole? That's the numbers we want to hear.
Including our
That jam is so sweet. I don't feel like eating these cookies now.
every customer who adds an extended warranty to their purchase. When daffodils bloom, hope grows. For details, visit Gomans.com.
Spring is finally here, and Good Food cooked up a great deal for you. Get 8 free meals in your first 2 Good Food orders. That's 4 free meals per order. It's the perfect time to spruce up your dinner routine.
Hold on a second. Strawberry sugar pectin citriate. What the fuck is pectin? Pectin's a waste product from strawberries, is it not?
It doesn't get easier than this to get your
Tablespoon. Oh, that's what I wasn't paying attention to. Per tablespoon, 15 mils, 15 milliliters. 13 grams of carbohydrates, which is 11 grams sugar and 0 grams of fiber, and it's only 4%. So I could eat 25 spoons of this.
So tonight mainly clear -2, overnight clear
50
-5,
because of
tomorrow morning
teaspoons.
sunny -2, tomorrow
Vitamin A, 0%. Vitamin C, 0%. Well, I would have thought that'd be soft. Damn. Calcium, 0%. Iron, 0%. Wow.
Skies clearing overnight. -5 in the morning, feel like -11, up to 8 in the afternoon. It is
That might be the
6:30.
perfect unit size.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic.
Why don't I buy the peanut butter from the dollar store? Because it comes from India. And I can't get a straight answer where North American peanut butter comes from. Ours might all come from India too. I don't know yet, and I don't want to force that to happen if it doesn't already.
Eastbound Gardner east of Dufferin, 2 right lanes are blocked.
By
Problems
a
also
table.
on the 401 approaching Victoria Park in the collectors. A full traffic report is just seconds away.
The Ontario government is not following doctors' orders.
The emergency brake shut down rather than the lockdown.
The province-wide gray zone will not be what Doug Ford's medical advisors wanted.
One Toronto doctor says wave 3 is being driven by variants that are far more infectious and deadly. He stresses more significant public health restrictions are needed to get things under control.
A nice win for the Blue Jays, who beat the Yankees 3-2 in their season opener this afternoon. And Freddie Anderson is still likely at least a few weeks away. Sports at 45.
Gains and records for Bay and Wall Street as General Motors impresses on first quarter sales, while shares of AMC took a big hit. Business at
American
26.
Motorsport? You got to specify what decade you're talking, pussy. Jesus Christ.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by City TV. Here's Jordan Kerr.
Well, eastbound on McKinney Gardner, a slow drive, and it's all because of this issue on the eastbound Gardner, east of Dufferin. The 2 right lanes are blocked off all because of this crash cleanup. So only the left lane's getting through, and it is jam heading into downtown. First of all, eastbound QEW, slow Bronte to Fort Drive, then from Huron, Ontario to Dixie, and then jam from Park Lawn on the east Gardner to east of Dufferin. Really, really slow going. If you want to take eastbound Lakeshore, that's going to be busy. That's going to be better than the Gardner. Same with Queensway. Just keep in mind that Queensway through Roncesvalles down to a single lane for long-term construction. So that will will be slower, but again, it's better than the Gardner. And West Gardner is jammed up from the DVP to Dufferin. People slowing down to take a look at the eastbound issues. From the 680 Traffic Center, here's Carlin Donahue.
You should speed up and not look at all. That's what
it's heavy at Jamestown Parkway, then from the 407 east to Mississauga Road, and from the 427 to Leslie, alternately expressing collectors. Approaching Victoria Park in the collectors, we have the center lane, the third one from the left, blocked off and due to a collision. Tow trucks on scene there, and that's just kind of already adding to the delays that exist from the DVP to Victoria Park Express and Kennedy collectors. White's Road in the Express, it is heavy, and then east of White's Road in the collectors out to east of Salem. And then east of Westney, we have the right shoulder block for the crash, and that it doesn't seem to be causing a delay just now. Eastbound 409 moving slow, approaching Kipling to the 401 ramps. Westbound 401, no issues, but it...
On Global News Radio.
West of here, Ontario Express Mavis collectors to approaching Mississauga Road. If you're using the northbound DVP, it is jammed right now, baby Village north of Lawrence, and southbound on that route.
It's jammed like peanut butter in a Tech 9. God damn it.
Breaking news and important updates that are affecting your communities and our country every night with City News at 6 and 11, only on City TV. Now the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Right, crisp and clear and cool overnight tonight without wind gusting upwards of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour. It'll slowly start to ease through the day tomorrow, but not before giving us that morning wind chill.
You're right. That is the speed limit if you are driving for pretty much the whole city.
Tonight down to a low of -5.
In fact, on these side streets it's 30. So 40, 50. You could catch a stunt driving charge with that shit. You take your foot off the gas, the car speeds up with the wind, there's the fucking photo radar cop. Smash into the fucking lamppost. He's not required to get out and help you. He's just there to drive the photo radar van. That was the 90s.
First 680's Mark Douglas joins us with the latest on when the measures come into effect.
This all-Ontario move into the gray zone is not even being called a lockdown by the Doug Ford government. The explanation from Minister of Health Christine Elliott, a pure lockdown would be too difficult to do in the nice warm weather, and there's also a need to balance people's mental health.
That's why we chose the emergency brake shutdown rather than the lockdown.
Premier Doug Ford's top medical advisors...
Can you stop Pizza from importing their tomatoes? Can you not put a lock on that? We grow tomatoes in greenhouses in Ontario. Why are we importing them from... I'm pretty sure it was California, if I'm wrong. Fuck yourself.
1 a.m. Saturday for all of Ontario. Outdoor dining on patios, that's gone again.
Good, because you motherfuckers are dirty.
And barbershops on April 12th, announced only a week ago. That's not happening now. But Ontario schools...
People get the idea if something's legal, I have to accept it. Why not? Fuck, I smoke weed, it's illegal. You didn't accept that. And look what happens.
Stays open. Even non-essential stores with the same
kind of... you legalized, and I refuse... Medical, no, refuse to play by your rules. Boycotted that.
Else, including big box stores,
now it's legal, right? As long as I buy it from you, pay taxes, it's not going to happen. It's still illegal. Go fuck yourself. It's legal to sit there and cough and spit at people. Well, somehow. I don't know how that's legal.
City's Phil Martino joins us live with reaction to Premier Ford's announcement. Phil. Warner, director at Michael Garron Hospital, says the 4-week shutdown is not enough because wave 3 is being driven by variants that are far more infectious and deadly.
In my opinion, the extending gray zones to the entire province and calling a shutdown will still allow non-essential retail to remain open and religious services indoors to occur at 15% capacity is a mistake and will lead to more deaths.
He says we need more significant public health restrictions to get this under control.
We also need to use the 4 weeks that this will last to vaccinate people who have the highest exposure risk. That means go to the factories, go to the warehouses, go to the communities where people are getting nailed by this, and get those people vaccinated.
NDP leader Andrea Horwath called today's approach basically more of the same. She claims it's a failed approach that we have been through already. This is yet again a lockdown that Doug Ford brought to Ontario. It's Doug Ford's lockdown, and I really want to say to people, keep doing your best. It's not your fault. The government hasn't provided the necessary leadership to prevent us from getting to exactly where the experts warned we were going to be. The Ontario Medical Association and the Association of Local Public Health Agencies say while a 28-day province-wide emergency brake shutdown is a good step, they're concerned it might not be enough to stop the spread of COVID-19. They're urging the government to take additional steps. Phil Martino, 680 News.
So the so-called shutdown does not include schools, and for now, the delayed March break scheduled for later this month is still on.
There's never been more confirmed COVID cases in Ontario schools as there are now. However, Education Minister Stephen Lecce says students will be back in class as scheduled on Tuesday, and they will get that week off starting April 12th.
On the advice of the Chief Medical Officer of Health, Ontario schools will remain open in this province. April break will proceed.
There are no plans to change anything with schools right now, despite more than 1,100 confirmed COVID cases in Ontario schools. 58 schools are closed because of the virus right now. Many more being forced to shut down because of staff shortages. There's a rising number of teachers who are in self-isolation. I'm Richard Southern.
680 News Traffic Alert.
This is Jordan Kerr in the 680 traffic.
They just did that. They switched from quarantine back to self-isolation. They've been calling it quarantine.
It's jammed approaching Park Lawn and eastbound 401 approaching Victoria Park in the collectors. They closed some extra lanes. 3 right lanes are now blocked off. Only the left lane getting by.
There are no extra lanes.
From the 680 traffic center. The traffic watch continues.
And the answer was,
Oh
and it
shit,
had
we're
to
running out of
be
time to
asked
give lists
twice,
before.
was the difference is this is province-wide. So the data we understand from listening shows
All
that
these people are going to get
people
so
who
mad
produce some
that us
stuff
weak,
went into
inferior
other
people don't die off. There's all this happening.
and I can see that.
More of the
I
same,
can,
over and
but
over and over and over.
this
Is
is
what
not
you're gonna
being
see.
driven in those other areas. So are we seeing here, we have to interpret, how much of
That's real.
pushback
Like him off a real
are
bird.
we having? I mean, politicians have to think about
that's
getting
why it's a
reelected,
different black
and
box, yeah.
they look and say, what can I do? How much can the public take? And was there a sense we were kind of all fed up about it? And I don't know about you, if that's the sense.
You know,
I
they're
wanna
telling
lay
us
down
how
on the
we
table,
felt.
But I wouldn't want the fact that we've got to do something about these numbers to interfere with that. I can see it
Where
with the
are you going
schools.
with
The
this, man?
explanation was pretty clear. And I saw a graph yesterday. It was shared
Was it
with some
graphene? Because we
big
found out that
virologists in the
doesn't
United
work
States
today.
as well. And it was the graph
She said
here showing
she switched
that when the
it.
cases go up in the schools here in Ontario, that the community cases follow. But, today they were pretty clear in the news conference. I think we got that they were going to make some trade-offs because the price was too high. And I think we all understand that. But, if there's hot zones, and we're going to talk about it, and various
baked goods, so this is my
perceptions
snack
here
food,
tonight. What is it about this that's going to bring them down? I see in the other areas, but and the other question is,
that I
if
bought
we wait too long, and
at the
why?
hip-hop
What can we
store.
learn about it as we look at how things are going across the country?
Everybody wants to do the bare
Premier
minimum
Ford
and a bit
also
less.
laying it out here. This is all
Everybody's gonna
different.
do as well as you
This
could
is
do, right?
a new kind of a pandemic.
This is a new pandemic. We're now fighting a new enemy.
6.98.
The new variants are
So now
far
I'm rubbing
more
my
dangerous
fingers all up
than
in the
before.
bag.
They spread
I'm glad
faster,
other people do that.
and they do more harm than the virus
6.98.
we were
That's
fighting
really
last
close,
year.
Frederick.
Again, we knew this last week. We knew it the week before. We knew it the week before that.
There's
We knew it
196.
the week
Thank you.
before that.
makes
What were we
sense.
waiting for? We're going to have all the latest tonight, plus a lot of analysis on what it means medically, scientifically, what is a closed space, what maybe we've been ignoring, and how it's working out politically. What are we thinking about this? Who would we give our vote to, and what are we basing it on? What kind of criteria? For Alex Pearson, I'm Arlene Bynum. Don't go away. We'll return. This is On Point, Global News Radio.
And now it's time to go out and take a look at the roads with Chopper.
ScottMission.com. That's ScottMission.com.
Right.
680 News Time, 641.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by EpiPen. Here's Jordan Kerr.
Things are escalating on the eastbound 401. Eastbound
$600
401
fucking
approaching
dollars,
Victoria Park
eh?
and the collectors.
Oh.
3 right lanes are now blocked off all because
These
of a
idiots
crash.
are robbing
Only the left lane is
pharmacies
getting
for
through.
oxys.
It is slow going
Give me the
east 401 through
EpiPens.
Trafalgar,
I'm gonna
on
start
the
stabbing you with all the
east
syringes I can find. Tell me which one's the right one, pussy. I swear to God.
Express and collectors, and then jam from the DVP Express and collectors to approaching Victoria Park. In the collectors, only the left lane's getting through. through. After that, it's slow from Warden to Kennedy and the collectors, east of Whites Road, Express and collectors to east of Salem. That issue east of Westney is gone. And an issue on the eastbound 407 approaching the 401 in the central lane. There's a chair on the highway. We've notified 407 about that. Delays into approaching
table, chair. You could parlay that into a round robin.
Delays west of Pure Ontario Express Mavis collectors to approaching Mississauga Road. From the 680 traffic center, Carlin Donahue.
It's a slow drive northbound on the DVP from north of Baby Bloor to north of Lawrence, and then delays north 404, Highway 7 and north of 16th, northbound 400. That's slow from Highway 7 and north of Major Mac. If you're going northbound on the 427, it's slow approaching the 407 to Highway 7. Northbound on the 410, delays Steeles to north of Queen. Eastbound on the QEW, we have delays east of Bronte to Ford Drive, and then east of Pure Ontario to Dixie. And then we have great news on the eastbound Gardner. It is the collision east of Dufferin has cleared, but the delays are still really, really heavy. So approaching Park Lawn to east of Dufferin is pretty jammed. And if you're using the eastbound Lakeshore as an alternate, just a heads up, it's very busy approaching Ontario Drive to Bathurst. And then the eastbound Queensway is slow from Parkside to Roncesvalles. Right now, all on the westbound Gardner, we have delays DVP to Dufferin, and then west QEW slow approaching Burloak to west of Guelph Line. Do you or your child carry an EpiPen? If so, you should know when your device expires. Check the expiry date today and visit your pharmacy to renew. Now the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Oh, Carly, that sun is so nice out there, and it's going to be out in full force tomorrow, and that does put a smile on my face. Wind chill minus 12 in the morning. I don't even care that we're slightly below seasonal. I'll take it as long as the sun is out. Now, that wind is still breezy tonight and tomorrow morning, but it will gradually ease through the afternoon, and with that sun, we should get up to 5 degrees. Saturday morning is going to be mainly cloudy. We have a morning wind chill of minus 11, some sunny breaks to start, pretty cloudy in the afternoon, and a high of 8 degrees. That's seasonal, and a very slight chance we could squeeze out some spotty showers late in the afternoon. Overnight tonight, down to a low of minus 5, wind chill minus 12 by morning. Right now, we're sitting at minus 2, feeling like minus 10 at Pearson.
This is 680 News. Another group of Ontarians can get a COVID-19 vaccine as soon as this Saturday in pharmacies. The province has released a list of more than 350 pharmacies which will be offering the AstraZeneca vaccine to people 55 and over. That means nearly 700 pharmacies and primary care settings are now offering this shot, and it could reach 1,500 by the end of the month. Ontario has opted to follow Health Canada's advice and not use the AstraZeneca vaccine for people under the age of 55 while the data is reviewed. Now, you will need an appointment to get this shot, and you can find a list of participating pharmacies at 680news.com. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about Kubota.
Construction workers deserve the best, and the best machines are made by Kubota.
What makes Kubota so good, Bill?
Kubota is known for their efficient and reliable diesel engines, and they're market leaders of compact, conventional swing and zero-turn excavators.
I don't know much about this stuff, Bill.
All you need to know is Kubota will work for you with precision, power, and reliability.
When you think construction, think Kubota at Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.com.
What about Komatsu and Kobelco?
In the blink of an eye. At Speedy Glass, we can quickly fix that chip before it turns into a crack. Hi.
Would you say you could turn chip into crack?
My team and I use unique cutting-edge technology to get you road-ready fast. Our work comes with a lifetime warranty, and it may even be free for you if you're insured. So don't ignore that chip. Book your appointment today.
Yeah, but it probably won't technically be free. It's like you don't pay for your insurance, right? It may be free if you're insured. I don't know. Am I insured? Well, did you pay your insurance? Oh, we're dropping crumbs. That is not the focused image at all.
Right now. Good evening. I'm Jana Tavincic.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Traffic alert eastbound 401 approaching Victoria Park in the collectors. Only one lane is getting by. A full traffic report coming up at 6:51. The Ford government pulling the emergency province-wide for at least a month. Schools will remain open. All the details
for some reason.
680news.com.
Why? We don't know. Oh, because it's a shutdown. Well, it's not a shutdown. It's an emergency break, you know.
They're welcoming the
same thing? That's, yeah, you would think so, but not here. No, we do it different, that's all.
Time now for 680 Sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Alex Xero.
Coastal Janet, the Blue Jays talked a lot about run prevention during the offseason, and boy, did we see a lot of that today.
Yeah, it was good to see that all the things that we
run prevention
carry over into the first game of the season, which is great. I mean, VJ was great after.
As we do today. We were warned, it's arrived, what does it mean, and how can we get out of it? I'd like to welcome Dr. David Jacobs, Ontario Specialist Association Chair, Coalition Ontario Doctors, President of the Ontario Association of Radiologists. Dr. Jacobs, welcome. How are you?
Well, thanks for having me.
Hi, what do you make of it? We were told it was going to happen. We knew there was this so-called
variant each other to get the fuck. What do you think of us after all these years of you hating us?
Somehow, France shutting down.
I'm the one with the mental problems. I don't give a fuck what you think. Okay.
In Ontario, how concerning is this to you from your medical point of view?
Well, you know, we're kind of at a crossroads right now.
Don't say those things. It's an undertaking. It's an we're executing the undertaking at the crossroads.
These new variants.
And that led to a sinkhole.
We're not going to win the race.
See, no bad things.
To have won the race, that means that the numbers in the ICU would have stayed down and decreased. So clearly, the variants of concern have gotten ahead of our vaccination efforts. But
that's it. They got ahead somehow.
Vaccination efforts will catch up.
And we actually got ahead somehow. Hello, is there an app for that?
Will this
the only thing that's not going to lie to you, okay?
We've seen shutdowns work before.
See the MW logo? No,
at the beginning of the show is, you know, there's a bit of a confusion because in the hot zone areas, things aren't all that different other than outdoor dining and the promise of things to come have been taken away. What do you see about what was announced today that is going to take those numbers and shrink them back down?
Whiteout.
Honestly, probably not a lot. So we shut down some work.
You're the guys that go and buy the Wonder White Wraps,
kind of taking
and in fine print it says tortillas, and you tell your friends you got the white wraps, and then you tell everybody else it's tortillas.
The fact that they are leaving the schools open, and the schools have proven to be very safe compared to the general population, or just people being out. In terms of decreasing the number of people in stores, it's a good move. It's going to help a little bit. Will it help as much as a complete lockdown? Certainly not. But
you don't force stores to have their ventilation systems on, even though the law says they have to.
Again, it's always a balance between public health and public needs and mental health. And
when you turn that system off, it's no longer legal to occupy that structure. Your fire certificate, whatever, is no longer valid.
Is faster
and then there's also public health, and then whatever the province wants to say about it.
Adjusted to
multiple overlapping jurisdictions. That's right.
The stories all around the world.
Oh well, I heard if I turn it off, people buy more. No, they steal more. They throw things down and leave because they can't fucking stand there and wait 10 minutes for oxygen. Can't argue with these people. They will not listen. They will not understand. Niggers are human animals that need oxygen. If we can't breathe, believe me, you're not getting our money.
Those long-term complications are going to be with
marketing fucking films were done in the 50s. How to sell to the Negro.
But this will be with people for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So, what I really do...
And you still do all the same things. Oh, they want the cheap one because they're cheap and they don't own anything. They got here because we gave them everything. And that's why you never sell anything to them.
And before you call,
that's why you don't do the business you think you should do. Because of you. It's on you. It's not on us. It's on you. It's like this virus. Oh. Damn it. What I've noticed over the last year, everybody that tries to cough and spit and sneeze around everybody ends up getting taken out of here on a fucking gurney. Not a stretcher, a gurney. You get taken away in a black GMC cargo van. Sorry, passenger van with no seats in it by some dude with a weird haircut playing like some type of heavy metal. That's what happens. You don't even get to choose the music. You're dead. Everybody wants to break the rules because it doesn't matter. I love hearing white people rationalize. So far, everybody that's tried to prove that somehow they were superior genetically and they would make us sick and us niggers, look at that, every single one of them been taken out of the position where they were working, isolated, quarantined, violate the public health rules too many times in a row, all that shit. And every time we speak, we don't listen. You niggers don't know nothing about medicine. We invented your medicine. Bloomberg.com. Oh, I guess it's the one I put there. Ontario locks down with virus killing faster and younger. You want to see the sound go like instantly? Just me choosing a fucking track will set this idiot off. And I think I shuffled it. Yeah, keep editing the fucking thing. Bro, you're doing one frame every half a second. Do you understand that I can see that? But my head looks like this. So like this. Fucking idiot. What do you think's gonna? I'm gonna go. Oh, that's me. Why am I doing that? Fucking idiot. You're not mentally ill. You're a child molester that likes to smoke methamphetamine. That's not mental illness. That's a tumor on this species. You can start trying to put that on us. Oh, he's gonna shit in his pants to shut us off in 7 minutes, but the thing is, I'm not putting it on CRI, so I don't care. He's gonna be smart. Oh, I'll do it 2 minutes earlier. I'm a dog. I play with my food, stupid. I told you I'd take you all out one by one, and you all keep joining the crew. Go, oh, I'll be a part of this. Yeah, you will, and you'll get laid out in the gutter. If I walk out the alleyway and someone says, "Oh," I heard screaming, and I say, "Oh, there's nothing." I heard it too, but there's nothing up there. They will not check that alleyway, and they won't call the cops. And the next day, when they find out something happened, they won't even think I had something to do with it. You really want to test? You got your leg busted already, pussy. Your dead bitch got her finger broken, and she didn't take the hit. What's a drug dealer overdose accidentally?
Sex, money, and murder is what I fantasize. Sex, money, and murder is what I fantasize.
Yeah, I got alibis, and my people got alibis.
Sex, money, and murder is what I fantasize.
I don't know. That's your fault, Mr. Officer, man. You were watching me too closely. You missed it.
I'm still getting caught under the messenger rider. Sex, drugs, and murder for money. You coming from me, I'm fucking gully. You still living, then you was lucky. You a public figure trying your best. In this fight, we fight to the death. You bitches lost your sight and your breath. Taking your senses for granted. We came up here and married the mats, and you and your homie gonna be sharing your casket. We carry the ratchet and sending you a burial package. It's different relaxing. The way we taking care of the packets get carried in plastic and thrust from an aerial vantage. My mom's used to say I'm always taking advantage. Nah, cause really I ain't taking the fat shit. Like these the kind of people make reports and the flag shit. And I'ma work float like a stay in a damn shit. So I defend this bitch, I be strapped like Stan Smith. And boy, that ain't no reference. I love the glitzy 1911, my preference. Get you fired from your job with a severance. I kill the biggest bear like the Revenant. The way you're fervent, so everybody serve it. Fuck around with Charlie, bro, I'm getting on some murder shit. Big gun, and you know I'm gonna defend the turf with it. Bubble like a stripper on the floor when I'm working it. Shake up your vehicle like it's turbulence. My A-Rap keep explosives where it's turbulence. You feeling cold, I'll turn the heat on me, courteous. My trendy niggas put the poison in your curry dish. Mr. Opio, Mr. Pipe, Burpee heads and okra. Boy, I'll get you soaked up. Tie him up and roped up. Chain look like gold dust. Pussy on, you know us. Fetch down and still get your throat cut. Sex, money, get murder is what I fantasize. Sex, money, and murder is what I fantasize. Sex, money, and murder is what I fantasize.
So what did I tell you 2 minutes ago? I told you 2 minutes ago. So what did I tell you 2 minutes ago? I told you 2 minutes ago. Keep it up, Chomo. Keep it up, Chomo. Keep it up, Chomo. Keep it up. Keep dumping. I told you 2 minutes ago, shithead's gonna start 2 minutes ahead of the hour to try to get ahead of things. He started bang at 3 minutes out of the hour. Like I said this 2 minutes ago. This is how predictable your pathology is, Chomo. And you hear the time delay? He started just now because he's such a fucking genius. He's going to outsmart children and old people and get them kids away from the parents, so you're going to fucking die. Hooked on meth of horrible diseases with nothing. This is in your land. You're going to be worm food. I'll feed you to the fish, bro. And I'll feed the fish to my weed plants. I'll run the weed plants in the wood to keep the bears happy. You're nothing, bro. You're nothing. You're literally advertising that you were on a kiddie porn website and found to attack the people that don't like you. I don't know how they marketed that to you and you were dumb enough to fall for it. You can't get the phone, can you? You can't get... I still haven't looked at it. Why are you shaking yourself now? We already went to the top of the hour once. You sat and watched it. What? The news doesn't piss you off? Me listening to women's voices, anything in French or anything out of China, you shit your fucking pants. If I spit, I can hit you from here. Stupid. What the fuck is wrong with your brain? You think your daughter forgave you or whatever the fuck you were screaming at people? Get out of your fucking mind. I'm the person making everyone look bad at pedophiles. I made it happen. Good. If that's what you think, good. That's how fucking delusional you are, bro. And that doesn't mean mental illness. That means you lie pathologically, and you're mad that no one believes you. That's what it means. There's no traumatic head injury. There's no child abuse in your background. The very first chance you ever saw to victimize somebody, you took it, and that decided what you are, bro. And you still do it to this day. I notice you don't come out of your house much anymore, eh?
That's all I need. Thank you. Listen, come to the family reunion last summer. Fuck you and your mama.
Well, the second last time you came out of your house, you got your legs lost. Last time, you and White Boy run up trying to shove me. I'll be your witness. And I made bail. And you both shit your pants when you saw me. Forgetting there's business owners, taxpayers. See? See? He's getting mad. He's getting fucking mad. Forgetting that taxpayers saw what you did. It was their garbage I was carrying. It was their garbage. Keep it up. It was their. Keep it up. What's that? The face app editing thing? Keep it up. Come on, keep it up. Keep dumping. Dump all of it at once. You have